Hello, my name is Thomas O'Byrne, and this is my presentation on the responsibilities of citizens during times of disaster. In this presentation, I will cover three main procedures that citizens should engage in before, during, and after times of disaster. There are many steps that citizens need to take when dealing with disasters. I will list the few steps that I feel are the most important to ensure the safety of individuals as well as their families. In this presentation, I will cover how citizens should prepare, their plan of action, collecting necessary supplies, how to remain calm, and focusing on the recovery effort. This is the three-step procedure that citizens should follow when dealing with disasters. Step 1. Before the disaster, citizens must prepare. Step 2. During the disaster, citizens need to remain calm. And Step 3. Post-disaster, citizens should focus their efforts on the recovery within their communities. Before the disaster, people must prepare themselves for potential disasters. Citizens should be able to understand the process needed to prepare for specific hazards in their communities. If people are unaware of the hazards in their communities, they should contact their local emergency services, such as the Red Cross, for further information on what types of disasters are most likely to occur in their area. One very important aspect of preparing for disasters is purchasing life and home insurance. This will allow citizens to avoid a costly financial loss to their home and families. It is extremely important that citizens have a plan of action. It's essential that citizens have a set plan of action in preparation for disasters, in case a specific emergency occurs, forcing families to evacuate their homes. It is vital that individuals are aware of the evacuation routes and understand specific evacuation destinations. Citizens need to monitor media and emergency services as well as trust their own instincts in order to ensure a successful plan of action. Before a disaster strikes, citizens should stock up on supplies and necessary resources needed in order to sustain the effects of disasters. Some of these include 1 gallon of water per person per day, canned food and a can opener, 1 change of clothes and an additional pair of footwear, blankets, and sleeping bags, sufficient medical supplies including first aid kits and necessary medications for the entire family, battery-powered radios, flashlights, and additional batteries, matches and lighters, as well as sufficient sanitation supplies for cleanup. During the disaster, citizens need to remain calm. Some people decide not to evacuate, or they are unable due to the severity of the disaster occurring. It is extremely important to remember in any case of disaster, citizens must remain in a safe area or shelter. People should continue to monitor news and weather for very informative updates. Post-disaster, focusing on the recovery efforts. Once the disaster has concluded, the most important element is to continue to remain calm. Although citizens in most cases will engage in some form of the milling process, the focus should remain on a strong community recovery effort. It is the citizens' responsibility to stay calm and not engage in forms of inappropriate behavior. Post-disaster citizens, if able, should participate in community recovery efforts such as working together with volunteer agencies to help those in need. In conclusion, citizens have plenty of responsibility during times of disaster. These responsibilities can be broken down into 3 basic steps: before, during, and post-disaster. If citizens are able to follow the basic process and have the necessary resources needed, they put themselves in a better position to ensure their safety in times of disaster. Here are my references, and this has been my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy your spring break.